Hey everybody, Clay Archer, CEO, DPC Technology, and today we got one I've wanted to do for a little while. Today we're going to compare the DisplayCast Pro to the original DisplayCast I've been using for years. It's been a while since I've done a digital signage video, and I've got a bunch of them that I've got coming down the pipeline. But today I wanted to jump into Unifi's offering in their new DisplayCast Pro. This is a really cool device. Originally, when I first saw it, I wasn't that impressed with the specs. It didn't really jump off the page to me. But if you stick around today, I think I'll show you that this is a really cool new device with 2 or 3 really killer new features that may make it the right one for you over the original DisplayCast. So with that, let's jump into the specs. At first glance, it really doesn't look like that much has changed here. So we've got the 4K 60 on the new one versus the 4K 30 on the old one. And that's not really going to change the world. I mean, it's nice to have 4K 60, but 4K 30 was good enough for most people. So the first really cool feature, and we'll get more into it throughout the video, is websites. They added that to YouTube and your content. So you can now display just generic websites. They also added the ability to automatically turn on and off the display with HDMI, which is really cool using CEC. But the biggest feature, and you can choose one of 2 flavors here, is the USB-C port. And what you're able to do with that USB-C port is either put a keyboard and mouse on it, which is awesome, or you're able to power it over that USB connector. Please note there is not a USB-C power adapter included. I'll leave a link in the description to the USB-C power adapter that I used. But what's so cool about this is now you're able to connect with Unifi Wi-Fi Autolink, which is amazing. And I'm going to show you an example of that. So I have 3 or 4 of these units now. I'm going to show it to you wired. I'm going to show it to you wireless. I'm also going to put the display directly into my computer so you can see exactly what I see. So now that we have the unboxing B-roll and the specs covered, let's jump into the software and get one of these adopted. All right, so you can see I'm logged into my cloud key here, and it auto recognized this DisplayCast. This is only plugged in via USB-C to power. There's nothing else connected to this device right now. So all I'm going to do is click Add, and like any other Unifi device, it's going to detect it. It's going to give me some basic information about it. I'm going to call this one Knock 2. We have several TVs out in the knock area, and we put DisplayCast behind them to display various different business data on them. So they go ahead and click Adopt there, and it's going to do its little adopting. You can see I have another one that's normally on the TV behind me, but I actually have it rigged over here into my video capture card because we're going to use OBS to show you what the display looks like. So you can see it's updating. As with anything, especially when you're using Unifi Wi-Fi Autolink, I would always make sure you're on the latest, greatest versions of the software and the firmware on your devices, as well as your APs, just to make sure you're going to get all the latest bug fixes and the best experience possible. So anyways, that's going to take a few minutes to update there. While that's updating, I'm going to go ahead and go into the UCast Pro here. This is the one that is sitting actually on my desk next to me here. It is plugged into my video capture card. Like I said before, there's really kind of 2 ways you can use this USB-C port. One is the wireless, which is awesome. People always tell me, hey, Clay, I've got a display on the other side of my building. I don't want to spend the money to run a Cat 6 cable over there. Can I just do this wirelessly? And the USB-C power in gives you the option to do that. But there is only one USB-C port on this device. The other thing that you're able to use the USB-C port for, though, is if you use PoE coming in the network port, the USB-C port is open and you can plug in a wireless keyboard and mouse or a wired keyboard and mouse. So anyways, that's what I've done here. And if I go in here, go ahead and switch over here to my video capture card. So you can see here, this is a direct capture of what's coming out of the device. And you can see I've got a second mouse that I just picked up, and I am able to just use my mouse to click on things, which is amazing. And you're like, well, Clint, what is that really going to do for me? Well, it really opens up an entire world for you because what you're able to do is basically like this. I'm going into the weather map, and I am just going to make it full screen. So I could log in the morning for something like this, and this is just a rolling radar map, but it might be cool for you. Like, obviously I'm in Florida and we get hurricane days here. If I'm looking at a hurricane, just to have this on full rotation. And I could play this and tell this just to be on play, and it'll do that. And I've been really super impressed with how versatile this display driver is. Whatever is in this cast is doing a great job of basically taking the code, the HTML code, or whatever code it is, and rendering something that's really pretty, that outputs really well. So what's amazing, beyond this, obviously I could put a radar screen up there, and that's kind of cool. But what if you wanted to put in dashboards that you had to log into? So here at DPC Technology, we use something called Bright Gauge that gives us dashboards of a bunch of cool statistics. And, if I wanted to display them, typically I've had to put a computer behind the TVs instead of a small device like this. And the ability to be able to do this on all kinds of different web pages, and then just be able to come in the morning, use your mouse, go in the screen, click on something, and just leave it there. And it's going to go roll through this. And I'm going to switch back over here. I'm going to put that mouse down, take my other mouse back. I'm going to go back into my screen here. I can, in here on this website this is just AccuWeather. It's nothing, all that important. I can also click auto reload so that if this is a website that kind of gets stuck on something, or, obviously that one was playing a playhead and it was just rotating through that. But if it didn't have that, if it was a static, radar image, I could click auto reload and it's going to reload it automatically for me, which is really, really cool. I can, in this web area here, I can choose any website I want to. And if you go down here, you can choose YouTube, media, or web. And if I go into my regular DisplayCast here and I go to the same area and I go media, I'm only getting YouTube and media. So I don't get the option to do that. I think that's amazing. Now, so that being said, if I am wireless and I'm using the wireless feature, I don't have that USB-C port available to me, so I can't do this feature. This, for me personally, is a huge feature because I use dashboards. A lot of my clients use dashboards, and the ability to log in, type in your username and password, click the button on whatever dashboard you want to go to, and have it just show up and automatically just work for you. That is a huge, huge feature for us. Another really cool new feature is the ability to automatically turn on and off your TVs. So if you go back into your previous one, you did not have that option there under control. But if you go into the new one, you do. You have the option to turn on and off, turn on only, turn off only. So if you do turn it off, on and off, you're able to have that be a part of your schedules here. If I go into calendar here, I can turn things on and off and play certain things at certain times. So I can go into any particular one. I can go manual only. So you can see that working in our automations here. On Wednesdays at 3, we have a beer in the lunchroom. Everybody goes in there. We have a beer together. If you want to have a beer, you have a water, you have a White Claw, whatever people want. But anyways, we have a display that comes on at 3 o'clock that shows everybody that. But if I go into that, now with that power control, I can turn on and off the TV at that time. So like if this was first thing in the morning, I could turn it on. If I didn't want to have power control, I could turn that on or off. But anyways, that is that. This is the beer clock. So very similar, the media manager, all pretty very similar to before. You can drag in media just as you always could. You can make playlists. And I don't intend this to be a full review of DisplayCast. I've done one before. You can, I'll put a link down in the description, but very similar to the way it's always been. You can just click here to upload a media. You can use JPEGs, PNGs, GIFs, bitmap. Video has to be in MP4. Audio has to be in M4A, MP3, or WAVs. You can create playlists. We'll go ahead and click in there. And basically, you're just adding those other features. I had ChatGPT make a menu as if we were a restaurant. We could put in this Flex Mini. We can put in Daniel. We can put in this video. And we'll go add. And it will just do that. Then we can come in here and we can say the duration, whether there's audio with it or not. We can also do background music if we wanted to add background music. And we can add transitions to the slides. We can call this whatever we want to. We'll call this Demo 2. Because I'm sure I've done a Demo 1 before. And we just go create. And then all you have to do with that playlist is go back into your automations here. And then you can see that Demo playlist, Demo 2 playlist shows up right here. And if we want to do it, we can preview it. We can assign it to a monitor. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to assign it to, that's this one here. And go ahead and assign it. And so I'm going to assign content now. So this content is now, if I flip over here, what is playing on the device. So some fun pictures there, whatnot. Probably some, and playing the video. Super easy. I could go back and change that, edit it, do all the things I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and kill that. And then I'm going to go edit, and I could change time frames. I could add, remove, do whatever I needed to do there. Super, super easy. I could delete it, and I can preview it. Super easy to do. I could also do a new layout if I wanted to do like, multiple things on design a menu, design certain things that I wanted to do here. I could certainly do that. And we'll put clock over here. I mean, this is going to be like just the best ever. We'll go back and we'll put in my media. We'll put in this menu. You can get really creative with that. I mean, obviously, the sky's the limit there on what you want to do. Thing there is, if I go back in here and I want to put in more content here, I am limited to certain things here. I've got the My Media, stock images, text, clock, and a ticker to roll along the bottom. All really cool, good things and things you probably wanted in display. What I would like to see is that if we could put in maybe a YouTube video and or the websites as a frame inside of one of these, that would be really cool too, just to get to that next level of designing of your dashboards. But I find this to be pretty easy to deal with. Like if I had a default color, add background music, add content, pretty simple to do. Not that big of a deal. If you guys want me to go deeper into designing some dashboards and that kind of stuff, please leave it in the comments down below. I do kind of get geeky on this stuff. I'll break out Photoshop and make things that are really, really cool. So let's go to the next thing, which is automations. And all I gotta do is create a new automation. And I'll go schedule. And we're gonna go every day at 3 p.m. That sounds good. We're gonna add devices. We're gonna just do it on this guy. We're gonna go add. If I click on configure here, it's gonna tell me what mode I'm in, what I'm playing, and the content. One other thing to mention here is the fit to screen here. Fill screen versus fit to screen. If I click apply on that and go back into manage again. So in this automation here, I can go in and I can choose what I'm going to play here. I'm going to play this media, or I could play a website, or I could play YouTube. All really cool things. You can see here I've got some borders on this menu that I built. If I want to make it fit to screen, I can just go fill screen and it will fill the whole screen so I won't get those bars. That's really all there is to it. I can do it once. I can do it through a date range, scheduling stuff, but you can come in here and click around and figure all that stuff out. That is the same between the two different devices. The only thing that's going to be different is the features that are not on the other device, like the turning the monitor on and off and or the web content. So that's pretty much it. You can see that Knockcast is now up and running. It is on wireless, ready to go. Look, Ma, no hands. Very, very cool feature. And you can see the one that is in this room is up and running, and I've got full mouse control. Look at that. Look, Ma, I've got hands. So that is really cool, really awesome. I hope I've triggered a few people with the thumbnails there, which always tend to make people go crazy. But is $80 worth it to go for the Pro over the original DisplayCast? I mean, that's really your call. To not have to run a line somewhere, I think the $80 is super worth it. Be able to turn on and off your TVs without having to go around and turn them off. That's a really nice feature too. We have 6 TVs here, and going around at the end of the night, clicking them on and off is a pain in the butt. So that is a nice feature. Is it worth $80? I don't know. That's your call. But the real killer feature to me is really two-pronged, is to be able to power it over PoE, then plug in a USB keyboard and mouse, and then use the website features to go to dashboards and to go to sites that are going to display the information that I want to see in my business. So let me know in the comments down below whether you would choose this unit at $279 versus the original DisplayCast at $199. I know for me, I think the $279 is the better deal and what I will be selling to my clients. As always, if you have any questions, put them down below. I answer every question. And if you want to see a more in-depth review of Connect and how I use these DisplayCasts in my office, please leave that down below as well. I certainly am open to that. And as always, if you found this video of value, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.